Welcome back to the channel. Today we have Mr. Marco Penge, the latest DP Tour winner, and quite the fiend with the big dog.
Yeah.
You're going to be giving the viewers some advice on how to hit it longer and also how to hit a few fairway finders, and we're going to have a little chit chat about driver, but congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's go. Let's see how we tame the beast.
The big man, that's the one.
Right, Marco, we're going to be talking driver. First, let's have a look at what you're actually in at the moment. Obviously Mizuno, being a Mizuno player, but talk us through the setup, what you like.
So, got the STX still in play. Had this driver for maybe a year and a half now. Struggled to get out of it as I love it so much. Got a Tensai 70 XXX. Tour X Flex.
I know you swing it quick.
Yeah. Half an inch shorter than standard.
Is it?
Yeah, I prefer the feel of a shorter club.
Right.
So obviously I hit it fairly far, so I don't need to have...
Yeah, your driving distance on tour at the minute, your average is 323 yards. So, yeah, long.
Not bad.
6th in the rankings for that. What's your normal club head speed?
So I'd say playing, I'm probably at about 126, 127.
Just
is
cruising.
My average. Yeah.
And then what would you jump up to if you're going to launch?
130 is probably my kind of peak.
Well, we're going to put that to the test. Marco's going to give us a couple of tips on how to get a few yards. But before that, we're going to do a little bit on fairway finding. Obviously, you're long as well, but your driver accuracy, you're quite high up on that, which is normally we wouldn't think speed goes hand in hand with accuracy. You're 67% of fairways hit, which is 16th on tour at the moment. How do we find fairways? What are we trying to do?
I like to bring the flight down. You know, apex is probably at about 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
Lower tee, slightly narrower stance. Ball goes a hair back, as I obviously want to bring the flight down and kind of swing the same, really.
Okay. Let's see one to start off with and see how it works. Is that very much, we've done an iron lesson with yourself as well? Is it similar in you would have places where you swing into or not?
I wouldn't change my swing length with driver, but setup is the same as if I was going to take some distance out of an iron shot.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm definitely, you know, my stance width would have reduced by probably half the width as if I was going to send one. You know, ball goes a hair back and just swing the same.
Swing.
And I like to always move that a little left to right.
I was going to say, with a fairway finding shot, are you finding that you would shape it one way more than the other? Is a draw more reliable or is a fade more reliable?
For me, I 90% of the time move it left to right off the tee. So definitely with the lower shot, I fade it because I want that spin rate to be a little higher. I do sometimes hit a low draw, but it's not that often.
Will you hit, if you peg one up for us, would you hit down on it at all when you're trying to hit this shot?
Yeah, this shot would probably be about 2 to 3 down attack angle.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously if I was going to hit a long one, it would be more four on the up. So
I think that's where like a lot of amateurs go. If you see like how, if you just put your driver in for us there now, see how low Marco's got this pegged up there, like the equator of the golf ball's below your top line there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times golfers have always got it pegged up high. They're trying to hit up on it because that's, you know, what we're taught a little bit of time. But would you find that, you know, under the gun, a lot of the players out on tour, they're pegging it low when they need to hit that sort of squeezy one?
Definitely, especially for the longer guys. It's just, well, for me, it's my go-to shot.
Yeah.
I love hitting it with a 2-iron stinger. Exactly the same with driver. If I'm under sort of any pressure or feeling a little bit uncomfortable, it's always a shot that I go to.
Peg it down. And how often are you playing this versus the full out one?
Obviously varies week to week, depends how, you know, what the dispersion is in terms of where you can, how big the dispersion is.
Yeah.
Some weeks we play courses where rubbish to rubbish on either side in terms of danger might be 60 yards wide, and then some weeks it could only be 40 yards wide. So, you know, my kind of rule of thumb really, if there's 60 yards between left side and right side, I'd hit one higher.
Yeah.
If it's less than that, and I'm not that comfortable on the tee shot, I'd always hit this shot.
That's interesting. I've never thought of it from side to side. I'd always think of it as like a certain like out of bounds.
Yeah, no.
As the dangerous way, or saying left to right, what's the width of the hole that you can get away with?
Definitely.
Right.
So
we peg it down.
Peg it down. It almost feels like I'm hitting like a 6 or 5 iron in terms of the setup. You know, obviously most of the time you're setting up with driver and your body's tilted back, the ball's forward.
Yeah.
Whereas on this shot, you know, my body would be pretty neutral. Stance width would be like I was hitting a 5 iron.
And you're looking to see this coming out lower. You're like, just for the viewers here, the tree height at the back.
Yeah,
you're not much over that.
That's the apex I want.
Pretty decent.
Height.
So let's just look at these numbers here. We've got, I think it was 350, obviously we're using range balls as well. 315 carry, 186 speed and 2.4.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect.
What
Tack
are you going to see?
angle is 1 down.
Yeah.
Launch angle again is at about 7 degrees, whereas if I was hitting one far, I'd be up at about 11.
And these numbers here, are you monitoring these week by week?
Yeah. You know, I look at my 2 shots. I have 3 flights: stinger, mid-flight, bomb. Yeah, they're the 3. And on most, you know, every tee box, definitely on a Tuesday and Wednesday when I'm preparing. Yeah, I'm going through with my caddy. What flight do you like here? Is it a stinger? Can I bomb it? Have I got enough room? And we kind of plan ahead, so we're prepared when we get to the tee box in a tournament. You sort of know, like that left to right dispersion. You've already picked that out. Yeah. You know what you're going to hit. Yeah, you know. How often would you deviate from the plan? Not very often. It's something that I'm trying to stick to. You know, I'm trying to really control the controllables, the things I can control. Yeah. And one of them, knowing the dispersion from left and right, is one of my controllables. So, you know, I know straight away as soon as I see the width of a fairway, you know, what shot I'm going to be hitting off that hole. Yeah. Let's hit one more. Interestingly as well, you know, you're a DP Tour player, DP Tour winner now. Yeah. But you've got the draw-based driver. Yeah. What is it you look for, like in a driver profile? I think a lot of the old thoughts was like it's got to be 7 degrees of loft, laid really open. Yeah. Is that changing a bit on tour now? Probably. I think, you know, nowadays it's a lot harder to hit a draw with the modern day technology. You know, woods now are spinning a lot less than they used to. So, you know, you need the spin rate to hit a draw. If the spin rate's not high enough, it's just going to dip out the sky. So I like a profile where I feel like I've got a bit of loft that's set up. So, you know, I don't like it when the face is really square and it feels like it's aiming to the right. Yes. I like to feel like I've got some loft in my hand. So what's that playing at then? This is playing at 9.5 at the minute. So week to week that changes. You know, if I'm playing in altitude. Will you crank it? Yeah. You actually, right, okay. I'll crank it up to 10.5. Gives me 300 to 400 extra spin. Right. Yeah, again, all to do with being able to draw the ball if I want to. I need enough spin rate on the ball. And the loft changes that quite a lot. So. Right. I wouldn't have thought people would have been changing them that much. No, yeah, it's quite common. Is it? Yeah. You know, I've even gone through some ball changes week to week. Just to try and get that draw? Yeah. I'm always trying to get it in, you know, the numbers in the same window wherever I am, whether it's 5 degrees or 30 degrees. So you'll go through a process, you'll get on the range with the caddy, monitors are out, you're hitting the shots, you've got a parameter of numbers you'll hit and you'll tweak what's needed to get that that thing. It's not a golf swing change. No. It's tailor the equipment and then you can go out and just trust your golf swing. Definitely. Right, okay, let's see one more little fairway finder. So you pegged it low, we've got a narrower stance. Yeah, ball goes back a hair. And then tempo wise, you're not thinking kill it, just smooth really, yeah. You know, that was pretty perfect. Wouldn't it be great to hit it like that? It's definitely, you know, I am probably swinging that at 80%. Yeah, still 1 down, 120 club head speed, 303, 28, 184. Good numbers. We've got loads of room. We've got 70 left to right marker. What are we doing? Tee height. How are we sending it? Tee height is going up now. It's probably double the height as to when I hit a low one. Ball goes up a notch. Stance width wide. I need to feel like I'm planted into the ground.
Yeah.
And it's just full send, hit it as high as I can, hard as I can.
And your fitting process for your driver, obviously you go through that with Alan and the lads on the tour.
Yeah.
Would you fit for this shot, or are you fitting for your fade shot, or is it sort of optimise both and see what you can
Trying
change?
to optimise both, making sure the spin rate's not too high when I hit a fade, making sure it's not too low when I hit a draw, making sure that when I do hit one high, it's not spinning up too much.
Yeah.
And again, with the low one, I want a bit of spin. I want the ball to rise a touch to give me more control. So constantly with the guys, you know, at Mizuno, we're constantly trying to make sure that the equipment's correct.
Yeah. So what are we expecting here now? We've seen that one down was your safe one with around 2.4 spin, 3.10 carry.
Yeah.
186 was it ball? What are we gonna?
This should be a 190 ball, attack angle 3 to 4 up.
Yeah.
Carry high, you know, 328, 330.
Okay.
That's the one.
It's a driver and a wedge, everyone. Just look at how high that is compared to, you see that?
So, you know, ball position goes up.
Yeah.
Stance width.
You look like twice the width now.
Yeah. Feeling like I'm really low, getting everything ready to go, really.
.320, 189 up.
Slightly off the bottom. Spin rate jumped a touch there to 3,000.
That's incredible, but it's staggering the difference, I think, between the setups, if you note in that. I think a lot of amateurs at home are going out and they'll get to maybe a hole where they think I'll let it go, and nothing's really changing other than trying to swing the hands quicker or throw themselves quicker at the golf ball, but you're making quite visible changes here. And
set up, you know, the fundamentals, you know, that's if I'm going to draw the ball, fade the ball, hit it high, hit it low, hit it hard, it all starts at my setup.
It was interesting, the iron lesson, if you've not seen that one yet, or make sure you do go and watch it, that was very similar in that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From hitting a 9-iron to a 7-iron, hitting different flights, was all down to the setup. It wasn't you changing your golf swing, which I think is where a lot of people go wrong. But
definitely.
Let's see it again.
Try and get one up.
They're sneaky along, the Mizuno drivers, aren't they? Keith Mitchell, stablemate, he's a bomber.
Gets it out there, yeah, for sure.
Could you take him in a long drive?
We'll have to have a test.
We'll go head to head at the Open.
I'd like to say yeah, but you know, it is Keith Mitchell.
It's wider, it's pegged up. Just looks ready to launch.
Oh, that's a terrible strike.
They're going out that quick. I'm struggling to keep up with them as I turn my head here. What have we got here? 187. Just a little low on the face, that one?
Yeah, real low on the face, that one. Obviously, you know, I'm trying to...
What would you expect from dispersion with this when you jump up to this shot? Obviously, you and your caddy have decided. What's the number that you go?
60, really.
60 from side to side.
30 yard, centre point, 30 yards either way.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a shot that I would love to hit every time.
Yeah.
It would make golf a lot easier if I could stand there and hit it straight and that far. But you know, the courses out on tour doesn't always allow you to do that.
Probably 30% of the time, maybe this.
Yeah, at the most.
At the most.
But you get some weeks where it might be 80% of the time.
Yeah.
But you get some weeks where you might never hit it.
What's your thoughts on like hitting it longer and then wedging it out, or would you prefer to? Obviously, you've got the benefit of being long anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you could hit that squeezer and hit, let's say 9-iron off the fairway, versus hitting the full out one and hitting a 52 in, where out of the rough, where are you going?
I mean, I'd be looking at pin placement. Do I, you know, are the greens firm? Do I need to get as far down so I've got more spin into the green? Again, like you said, it's all down to how much I'm gaining on hitting this shot, because the risk is obviously a lot higher.
Yes.
You know, like I said, the dispersion is a lot wider. So, you know, down par 5s will be the main time I'd hit this shot.
Right.
Or maybe a drivable par 4. But most of the time, on kind of par fours in general, I'm probably hitting the mid to low flight.
Yeah.
Just to hit it in play and give myself a second shot, like I said in the iron video.
Yeah, okay. Let's see it then, let's take it to the launch.
Come on, see if I can strike one out the middle.
How was that one?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's just ended up in Blackburn, that.
Got it to 190.
190, 324 carry. And 2.9 spin.
Yeah,
With a range ball,
to be
as well,
honest,
isn't it?
I've actually, my setup at the minute is on the spinnier side.
Yeah.
You know, as a long hitter, spin is my friend.
Yes.
You know, the more spin I have, the easier it is to control. I could go down to a setup that spins at 2,000 at that shot.
Yeah.
And it would probably carry another 10 to 12 yards, but
Not knowing where it's going.
It's not worth it for me. I'm really happy with the setup that I've got at the minute.
And looking at your driver here, how long would you tend to try and stick with one driver? Is it until something comes along and beats it, or is it?
Yeah, I'm constantly testing, you know, a couple at Mizuno. You know, there was one that I was really liking, but until this misbehaves,
Keep it
it's
in the
staying in the bag. And
Yeah.
so obviously after last week, it'll probably be staying in the bag for a while now.
Like it. And it all comes down to that fitting as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is huge.
Just shows, you know, the team is.
Are you quite
big
active
part.
with the guys at Mizuno? You sort of back and forth every week? Are you looking at your stats and going?
Yeah, I try to, you know, every few weeks.
Yeah.
Especially when we're in Europe and we're seeing a lot more of each other.
Yeah.
But, you know, until a lot of players are always talking to the manufacturers, whereas I'm a bit more. I kind of put the blame on myself rather than the equipment.
Yeah.
But you know, there are times where you kind of look at a shot and you think, didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And then you have a little chat with the guys and you might find a little golden nugget that was missing.
Send you on the way.
That's
Hit
it.
one more.
Yeah.
How are we going to hit a little bit of a draw?
A little bit of a draw. Ball
Yeah.
position is going back for me. Obviously,
You peg it up, peg it down, peg it up, I would
I
presume.
would peg it up a little bit, just kind of at a medium sort of height. I'll probably just change to. That's a little bit too high for me. Obviously, the more up you hit on the ball, the path's going to want to go further left. So I would try and draw it by bringing the attack angle a little steeper. It's going to push the path to the right. Ball position's going to go back to do that.
And this isn't looking like the sort of full out swing. This is more of your.
Yeah, you know, I need to make sure that my arms are kind of falling behind my body a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, my feet will go a little bit right, square, ball positions back, face a little open at setup to make sure the ball starts to the right and swing into out.
Oh, that is the perfect draw, sir.
And it'd be at that mid-flight. You know, it wouldn't be, like I said, it's hard to draw it when you're hitting 4 on the up.
So exactly what you said there, Marco. You're pretty much neutral on your attack angle. 0.3 down, 124 club head speed, 316 carry, 2.6, and a little bit of into outness, and that is why we get the lovely draw. Well, some lovely nuggets there.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you for helping the viewers out.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck for
Thank
the
you
rest of the
very
season.
much. Thank
Good
you.
luck in the PGA in the Open.
Thank you very
much. Guys, check that out, and maybe, hopefully, that can help you get a little bit of Marco's power with the driver.